Hello, everyone. Come on in, come on in, come on in. It's your guy, Coach Reg. Welcome back to another edition of Sip and Chill. Happy Friday. My gosh. It's been a week. Hope yours has been good. I'm very excited that it is done and we are officially into the weekend. And I'm glad you can be here. If you're here live, that's great. If you catch us on replay, that's also cool. Let me know you're here. Please say hello. Hope you're doing well. Hope your week was good. I'm excited. I really am. I hope you guys had a chance to check out. Hey, Vita, how you doing? Happy Friday, young lady. How are you? Welcome back to, I should say, the lounge. Happy you are here. Yeah. So I'm Coach Reg, and a little bit about me. I am a relationship coach. You can totally go learn more about who I am and what I do and what I've done at my website, rucoached.com. It is it resolves lettercoached.com, RU, and word coached.com. So I know it exhausted. I promise I do. I do, Vita. I really do. Yeah, and also, so I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I am doing great. I really am. Looking forward to this week and week coming because I don't have to get up early anymore. Whew, that's gonna be great. So yes, I am. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. So are you coached? I am relationship coach Reginald Smith, Coach Reg. And Are You Coached is a relationship coaching platform geared toward helping individuals identify, participate, strengthen, and sustain healthy relationships. My clients are high-achieving professional men and women who may not yet have the interpersonal relationship they desire and or that best serves them. And so we coach around those things in those areas of improvement that they want to work on, be it preparing for a relationship or in a relationship that they want to strengthen and sustain. So hey Kat, what's up, buddy? How you doing, sir? Happy Friday. Welcome back to the lounge. Hey Dawn, welcome. Happy Friday to you. Hope you are all well. Thank you for hanging out with us in the lounge. Also want to say thank you to all of you who came last week, right? Who was here last week in the lounge when we dealt with the coordinates. And I think that was a really good show. Hey, Karan, how are you? Happy Friday, young lady. Hope you got some rest, some much needed rest. So last week was awesome. The engagement was off the chain. A lot of participation. Totally appreciate that. For those of you who were here live and to include those who may have caught it on replay. So thank you for hanging out. Hope you found it helpful. Again, back to me. I am, again, a relationship coach. Also the founder of Sip and Chill, which is where you are now, hanging out with me. And I'm hanging out with you. Hey, Robin. Hey, Carol. Happy Friday, ladies. Welcome back to the lounge. Glad you are here. So that's a little bit about who I am. But I wanted to, again, thank you all for hanging out with us last week. And I hope that this week is going to be awesome, too. So shouts again to Carlton and John. Those guys brung the heat. And I told you, ladies, the coordinates, we exist. And those men let you see firsthand that we do indeed exist. Now, I will say this because there was a lot of positive feedback. So I want you to know that we will totally do those things when it makes sense. We'll have other men on, we'll have men on again, sharing perspectives and thought process. And I'd also like to do the same with women. And then I'd maybe like to someday do something with like a co-ed panel. So we'll figure all that out. But just like I promised you that, I'm promising you that's going to happen too. Okay, so hope you'll hang around for it as well. So it's the weekend. As you come in, please say hello if you choose, or you can just watch. It's up to you, but just want to know who you are. If you have comments, please share them. And definitely participate this week because I'm curious to hear your thoughts as well. So as we get into it, how many of you, just thumbs up, work, did anyone kind of do the read ahead or the listen ahead for the video that I posted with this week's topic? Just for context, I'm just curious. I hope you listened. It probably took you back. I know when I thought of it, it took me back to that time in life when that song was popular, but more importantly, the message. Yeah. Hey, Rosalind, how you doing? Happy Friday. Welcome to the lounge. Hey, Kimmy, how are you? Thank you for my hugs. I appreciate that. And I'm giving you virtual hugs in return. Thank you, big sis. Appreciate you. So, yeah. Just wondered if that song resonated with you at all. Maybe took you back to a time in your life, or maybe something that it's like, whoa, this is real. And maybe you didn't listen to the lyrics back then, or maybe you did, but didn't listen. You hear them differently now because you've had some life, you had some experience. You may have some experiences now where emotional hurt is a real thing, and that's what we want to talk about, right? We want to talk about healing that. Hey, LaFern, how you doing? Welcome. Glad you are here. Happy Friday. Yeah. Exactly, Dawn. Exactly. And I think that's kind of true for everyone. So, but yeah, it's okay, Vita. If you get a chance, when you get a chance, definitely check it out. I think it is, again, I'm using it as the catalyst for this week's topic and how we deal with emotional hurt. And so it's from, hey, Ty, how you doing? What's happening? Man, everybody's coming. This is great. Welcome back to the lounge. So, yeah, the name of the song, Vita, is Burn by Usher. And the lyrics are fire. Now, in that video, to be clear, in that video, he's talking about a relationship that needs to end. And guess what? It applies. But what I want to talk about and share with you is about healing your emotional hurts. That relationship you have with yourself, where some things may need to burn. Yeah. A little different, but the context is similar in that it's all about healing. You have to get over some things, right? So yeah, that's where we're going. So I hope you want to hang out with me. So here we go. Let's get into Burn. So healing from emotional hurts is a very deep and personal choice that requires courage, patience, and even tolerance with ourselves as we recalibrate our lives and emotional well-being. Healing from emotional hurt is a journey, and if we avoid the work, compartmentalize, or even ignore it, we do ourselves a tremendous disservice and disqualify ourselves from giving love, receiving love, and participating in an emotionally gratifying relationship. Yeah, that's the foundation. Okay, that's what we're gonna deal with. So, what is the work, right? In this healing emotional hurts, what is the work? Well, the work is deconstructing the acts leading up to the crime. Okay, it's a joke, but no, seriously, the work does involve courage to deconstruct what led to the pain and despair. There's some initial questions that you can ask yourself as you begin to retrace your steps, right? Now, let me just say this as a quick disclaimer. You're going to hear a little bit about my story as I go through this, because this is the work I had to do. See, this will also maybe give you a little bit more insight into why I coach, because of my own personal experiences and the things that I had to learn to overcome and work through. And that desire fueled, or those experiences fueled my desire to serve others, right? And support others in this space. So yeah, this is a real thing, and we all have it. None of us are exempt. If you've had a relationship, guess what? This applies. Of any kind, this definitely applies. Hey, Pity Doo, how you doing, young lady? Happy Friday. Welcome back to the lounge. Happy you are here. Oh, by the way, I don't know if y'all got yours. Excuse my good English, but if you don't have your beverage, you might want to get that, because I sure enough have mine. Yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna hang out, have a conversation. Okay. So again, what is the work? So the first step is to ask ourselves penetrating questions that led to our hurt, okay? For example, and these are just for example, this list is not exhaustive. It's just to help you understand these are the types of questions that you want to begin with, or some types of questions you could begin with, to begin to peel back and understand what's happening with you and the choices that you made, right? And some things that you gotta maybe have to let burn. First question, what did I allow? What kinds of things did I allow, that maybe were less than, that I kind of saw, I should have said, no, I probably should pay attention to that. But maybe you did it, right? What did I dismiss as nothing? Oh, that's not a big deal. It's not gonna hurt that bad. Whatever you dismiss. We have to be honest with ourselves, right? This is not a, what are people gonna think? What are they gonna say? No, this is about that individual doing the work to that's required to heal emotionally, so you can show up as the best version of you in whatsoever the relationship you choose to participate in going forward. But that healing is necessary to become whole so that you can be the best you, so you can get to the best you. Hey, Bernadette, how you doing? Happy Friday. Welcome back to the lounge. Happy you are here. For sure, for sure. Next, what did I tolerate? Yeah, we do. Because, when we like somebody, we probably put up with some stuff that we know we shouldn't or otherwise wouldn't. But we did because we thought we loved the person or was in love, or for whatever the reasons you did it, we do it. What did you tolerate? What could I have done differently? What can I do differently going forward? Now, here's the deal. Let me just say this. These questions, although short, they take some time to think about, right? And when I work with people, these are the kinds of questions, if you will, just to give you an idea of, these are questions that require thought. You have to think about the experience. You have to remember your part. You have to remember where you were mentally and emotionally during that time, right? And it may be something that you're in right now. So again, the questions apply to now or a past experience, but regardless, if you're someone who needs to, if you're willing to be honest, heal, this is where it starts. And we're going to get into some more, but this is, I promise you, this is just the beginning. But these are the kinds of questions that you kind of, we'll call them softballs, little soft pitches, right? To get you thinking about, okay, what can I, what role did I play? Okay. So let me say this. I'm not suggesting that suffering emotional hurt is self-imposed. I want you to be very clear on that. That is not what I'm saying to you. But it is our responsibility to establish emotional boundaries designed to protect and mitigate the possibilities of suffering future heartache. That part is on us. I'll say that again. I'm not suggesting that suffering emotional hurt is self-imposed, but it is our responsibility individually to establish emotional boundaries designed to protect our hearts and mitigate the possibilities of suffering future heartache. I'm not suggesting it's not going to happen to you again. Okay, that's the thing about love, right? It's a risk. It could happen again. But when we are as well prepared, it lessens the likelihood, because things we should pay attention to, we tend to do so if we're willing to put ourselves in that space again, right? And again, it requires a tremendous amount of vulnerability. It is an individual choice, but that is something that you do when you're ready, and that person that you're considering has demonstrated that they earn that space where you're willing to risk or put yourself in that spot again, or that space to love and to experience an emotionally gratifying relationship. How we doing so far? We good? Thumbs up work. I need to hear from you guys, right? Because you're looking at me and I can't see you, but you can see me. But I definitely want to know. I just want you to tell me, just like I said, thumbs up. Let me know if this is tracking for you. And while you do that, I think I'm going to take a sip. All right. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you. All right. Cool beans, Kimmy. So now that we got that straight, I'd like to invite you on a journey with me as we explore what it'll take to recover from emotional hurt and establish emotional balance in your life. I got 5 things I want to talk to you about. Okay? Here we go. The first is acknowledgement. Yep, acknowledgement. Acknowledgement speaks to a willingness to be honest with yourself that you feel hurt, quite frankly, pissed off because of what you feel, right? Or how you may feel. I don't deserve this. All I did was love you. as best I could. And this is what you do? Yeah. Hey, Virginia, how you doing? Happy Friday. Welcome back. You may yell, you may fuss, you may cuss, scream. Hey, listen, get it out. Don't carry that stress in your body. Because again, we're talking about healing, right? This is the journey. Feeling like a victim is normal, but you can't stay there. You must move beyond harboring negative emotions around a relationship and, quite frankly, the person who hurt you. Yeah. Because none of that serves you. But acknowledging that how you feel, right? If you're upset, if you're angry, if you're pissed, if you're frustrated, if you... Listen. When I was going through this stuff years ago, it hurt. It hurt a lot. And I wanted to do some things that if I could have gotten away with and no one ever knew, I would have done them. That's why, because I was mad, right? And I didn't understand. And I was like, this isn't what I signed up for, right? But that's the thing. We don't get to control that part of it, right? But we are responsible for our part. And so I'm not suggesting I deserved it. I'm not suggesting that anyone has ever experienced heartache or emotional disappointment that deserves it. That's not what we're saying. But when it happens, when life deals you lemons, what do? We make lemonade. Yeah. So, acknowledgement. Number 2. Uncover and discover. This is yet another courageous step to take. Trying to avoid what happened in your past doesn't work. Those feelings tend to stick around, and sometimes they lie dormant or numb, right? Because it's not anything that's present. You're not having to think about it. But when you may meet someone, guess what? This stuff, you may have some triggers, and that stuff you kind of, whoa, I didn't know that. I didn't realize I hadn't resolved that, whatever it may be. And I can't give you examples of what you've experienced, obviously, but I don't know. I mean, listen, we all have insecurities, right? And sometimes in that uncover and discover, we learn that we have insecurities that we didn't know we had. And those insecurities may have come from past experiences that kind of that trigger us. And it's not necessarily until we have met someone or considering someone or may even be in relationship with someone where something occurs that reminds you of something in your past, and it creates some angst to the end where it may show up in conversation with the person. Not in conversation. It may show up in your behavior, right? And the person that you're getting to know may be like, wait, what's happening? And because I didn't do anything, right? So it warrants a conversation. So again, it's uncover and discover, right? So there may be some things you just learn about yourself in the process that may have been dormant, but something has occurred in your life that brings it back to the forefront. Okay? Now, allow yourself to feel whatever emotion comes up. That's important. Listen, we're talking about the journey, and it takes time. So whatever emotions that you feel, if they're hurt, if it's disappointment, if it's despair, if it's frustration, if it's whatever it may be, allow yourself to feel that, and don't allow anyone to tell you you should be over it. But promise yourself that you will work on getting over it so you can move on in your life. Don't let a negative experience define you. You do yourself a disservice, and you deny yourself. You automatically disqualify yourself from a fulfilling relationship that would be good for you and good for the other person, right? Because it's a value add proposition. That makes sense? Cool. So again, Usher talked about, for those of you he talked about letting it burn, right? That's what I mean by it takes the time it takes. If you start a fire, it doesn't just go out right away. The thing got to burn. But when it burns and then it smolders and then it eventually, it's out, right? And the key is to learn from those experiences such that you're like, okay, I let it burn. I had this experience. It hurt, but you know what? I'm still standing. It didn't take me out. There's positives in this. I promise you. You may have heard me say before. Some of you have heard me say before. In every adversity, it comes with gifts. And those gifts can be what you learn. Those gifts can be what you see that you didn't consider. You had no way to know. You know, I would even submit to you that some of the gifts are serendipitous. Yeah, absolutely. So, emotions, we need to fill them and give them space before so they can, let me say this. We have to feel our emotions, but don't let them take residency so they can lose their power. Because as long as they're present, as long as we allow them to be a thing and not deal with them, because you really got to take some time to figure it out. It's not as simple as, oh, I'm good because it's been some time. I've been out of a relationship for a while, or that happened so many years ago. I'm cool. Are you? Are you? I'm not saying you're not, but I am saying it's worth a question to yourself. Oh, I'm sorry. Someone said I yell. I don't mean to yell. I hope that you don't hear me as yelling. I'm not fussing at anyone. I'm passionate about what I do. And so some of you know me and know me know me well. And so you know that. But for those of you who don't know me as well, sometimes I say things and it may sound like I'm yelling. I promise I'm not. It's just, yeah, it's just the passion that comes through. So yeah, we got to feel those emotions again. Not so much that they can stay, not so much that they have to lose their power so we can move on from our past, is what I'm saying to you. And there are exercises that you can totally do, working with a coach, to help you do that. To understand your emotions and the genesis of them, where they came from. Next thing, acceptance. You can't change what happened. You can't change what happened. It sucks, no doubt, but we can't undo it. We can't unsee it. We can't unhear it. We can't unlive it. We do have a choice, though. We can absolutely choose to accept the experience and free ourselves from a weight that profits us nothing to carry. Why do you do any of this? Number one, you do it for you. Number two, you do it because you want to heal. You don't want to be a prisoner to your past hurts and emotions, right? In order to heal, it's going to require some courage to really unpack and uncover our choices and what led to those choices and why we made them. And it requires some honesty. That it requires courage to be willing to be that honest with yourself, right? And guess what? You don't have to do it alone. You really don't. If you have trusted people in your life, yeah. If you don't, obviously, or not don't, but if it's someone that you want help with, or someone who's that can help you work through it, yeah, I encourage you to consider it for you, because I promise you're going to be better for having done so. And anyone that you encounter to include in your life, or people you have yet to meet, will be all the better for it, because you're going to attract a better quality of person, a better caliber person. Yeah, you really will. See, Dawn says, I'm processing and self-examining myself because it makes me close to those. Yes, Dawn, 1,000%, 1,000%. And see, that's what I'm saying. It's not so simple, because it depends on how deep that hurt goes. And good for Dawn and good for others who constantly evaluate themselves and not just say I'm evaluating, but then how am I actually showing up? What kind of feedback am I getting in my relationships? Is it fulfilling? Is it healthy? Is my partner, do we discuss these kinds of things? Are they telling me, hey, this is great? Yeah, we have our challenges, but we work through them, respectfully. And together we talk about it, right? We discuss things. We don't take things for granted. We don't assume on purpose. We choose to ask questions. There may be things that you didn't do before that could have led to your hurt, because when you should have had conversations, or perhaps introduced conversations, you didn't. Back to, what did I allow? What did I tolerate? Understand what I'm saying to you. Some of these things are not so easily seen. Anyone can see what's obvious, but none of us can see subtlety. I refer to subtlety like a mist. When you think of mist under a door, you're like, oh, I'm safe. No, not really, because the mist gets in, can't see it. It's subtle. So yeah. This is a big one coming up, number 4. Forgiveness. Forgiveness. This one was by far the most difficult to do, for me anyway. Initially because I was married. And I didn't understand at the time what I felt was that, why would she want to throw our family away? Why would you want to throw our marriage away? I didn't get it. Now, my part in it, I chose to marry at 21. I've been married and divorced twice. Again, check my bio out. I'm not going to get into that now. But I married at 21. And at that time, as a young person, I may have been mature for my age, but I didn't have the benefit of time and experience. So what happened was, I am a young person making a decision not based on what I want, but what someone else wanted with me. And what I did not do was, I didn't check in with me, and it cost me dearly. It really did. And I don't mean monetarily alone. I mean emotionally and physically. Yes, agreed, LaFern, agreed, 1000%. It is absolutely freeing, but it is absolutely difficult too. So, although I chose to marry at 21, I made that decision. And then I wanted to make my decision right. At least that was my goal, right? But again, at that time, I was more interested in pleasing, appeasing, and pacifying my then wife. Sadly, at my expense. I didn't want to disappoint her, but I didn't even consider me. That's not cool. So understand what I'm saying to you. I'm encouraging you to consider you. Please do not make choices or continue to make choices that don't serve you, and only benefit others. Consider you. Make you a priority. Now, I want to be very clear. There is nothing wrong with pleasing, appeasing, and pacifying your mate when there is equity and reciprocity, but it need not be ever at your expense. On a continuum, I hope you understand what I'm saying. We're talking about balance. We're talking about an emotionally healthy relationship. We're talking about what it's going to take to heal, to become whole, so that you can be the best version of you going forward in whatever relationship you choose. It all ties back. Here's why this happened. I literally went along with it because I lacked the courage. I lacked the courage to honor my no. My no was enough, but I didn't have the courage to stand by it. Yeah. And sadly, I did that twice. That's why I feel so strongly about these things, because I've lived and experienced some difficult things in my life. I'm not saying that we're like, oh my God, no, hey, listen, it was difficult. I'm not gonna pretend it was easy, because we all have challenges that we have to overcome and navigate, at least if we choose to. They didn't take me out. They actually made me better. So what I thought was bad, guess what? God, the good Lord was working it together for my good, even though it didn't feel like it at the time. But that's exactly what was happening. So when I deconstructed my choices, I realized I shouldn't, nor could I blame her for something that I could have prevented. Forgive yourself for choices made that contributed to the experience. Forgive the person who betrayed your confidence or your trust. Why are you doing this? As Laverne just said, it's freeing. It's not for them. It's really for you. Here's why it's not for them. Because they probably aren't thinking about it. Most people who hurt us aren't thinking about us and if they hurt us or not. Remember, we are innately selfish. It takes a person who is intentional to be selfless, to consider their ways, to think back on the choices made and how my choices may have affected and or impacted another person. Everyone doesn't do that by default. Yeah, we're talking about healing, okay? May not be sexy, but guess what? It's necessary. But it can lead to sexy, y'all. It sure can. Because healing and becoming whole is attractive. I promise you it is. I promise you. Lastly, oh, it's raining. I'm sorry. I heard something. Like, what is that? It's raining. That's what that is. Okay. That's my window. I'm sorry. I got distracted. I wasn't sure what was happening. Peace. Number 5. Peace. Seeking. How do you get to peace? Seeking and choosing a life absent of blame or desire to disparage the person who hurt you. Here's how you know you've grown and are no longer burdened by emotional hurt. You don't wish the offender any harm or danger. Although you not lose any sleep if anything happened to him, let me be clear. Just saying, because hey, like I said, some people, hey, I don't want that to happen to you, but that's between you and Jesus. If something did, it must have been his will for your life, not mine. But seriously, you know you've grown because you've become indifferent, unbothered, and unfazed by the person or the past relationship experience. Yeah. That's it. Not that's it, right? But that's how you know that you've grown. Yeah, Robin. That hatred you may feel for the person is only going to ruin your inner peace. Absolutely. But see, the thing is, and Robin, you're absolutely right. Sadly, we don't always recognize that when we're in the throes of it. You know, we because we can't get past, how did you do this? Why did you do this? I didn't deserve this. You got to get past the I don't understand stuff, right? Because we could not be more subjective when we're initially hurt. Excuse me. And even when time passes, and again, those emotions may go dormant, it doesn't mean they were dealt with, but there are things that we're like, but this happened to me. And guess what? Here's what happens. It makes us guarded. So people really can't access us. They can't get in because we're like, no, I'm good. But we really may not be, right? Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Because it's a calming, it's a freeing, it is a space that says, you know, I'm good. And although that happened, that experience, that bad experience, does not define me going forward. And it makes me more available for someone who appreciates me. Now, and would respect me and love me and all the things, again, emotionally gratifying, whatever that means to you, because we all get to define that. But here's the thing. It's an individual choice. And the reason that I'm hoping that there are men on this stream, and if they're not, I hope that you tell your male friends about it and share this with them. And because as a man, we are not, some of us, quite frankly, avoid the work. Women are far more resilient, sincerely, than we are in this space. And I really do want men to hear this, because it's imperative for us to do this work, show up so that we can be present for that woman that's for us. Because it's for us, we need each other, right? These messages are not gender specific. They're to an individual. And that's why it matters so much to me, right? Well, that's where my heart is around it, I should say. Because it's not enough that, oh, it happened 6 years ago, or it happened 10 years ago, I'm good. No, you may just have buried it. It could be, you could have compartmentalized it. I was talking to someone recently who said to me that she was talking to her guy and she asked him directly, have you dealt with your past hurts? He said, nope, and kept going on like she asked him, do you know if it's going to rain tomorrow? That's how cavalier we can be if you don't pursue it. And I don't mean pursue it and like keep, beating them over the head with it, but explore that and encourage. It is not about you. It's because you legitimately care for that person. Guess what? As a man, I may see a woman who may not have dealt with her hurts that I recognize if I ask her a question, and maybe she shies away. So please understand, it is not to suggest that it's a gender thing, it's man versus woman. It is to say that this is work that's necessary for each of us to do if we have indeed been hurt. And we may have buried them. It may be dormant. We may have avoided it. We may have ignored it. We may even compartmentalize it. But the reality is, unless or until the work is done, I'll be honest, you're kidding yourself. You're kidding yourself about, oh, my relationship is good. Oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm good for anything because I'm not going to let that happen no more. Obviously, you're not going to let that happen anymore on purpose. Anybody can see the obvious things, but what about that mist that you can't see? That's why the work is necessary. Do you know why? Because each of us have a little thing called blind spots. Yeah, you do. Yeah, that's not just for the highway when you're driving. We have them in our lives. And if the goal is to heal and become whole, regardless of your gender, this work is necessary. Yeah, it is. A little different than last week, right? But this is about an inside job. This is an individual choice. And just wanted to share this with you because I think it's necessary. Questions or comments? I know it's straightforward, obviously, but again, we're not talking about the obvious. We're talking about the things that are not so obvious. Any thoughts? Yay. Fantastic, Vita. Fantastic. Again, my heart. It's my heart. It's not about what I think you should do. It's not my opinion. It's what I've learned and did in my life. And if I, as Coach Reg, as a relationship coach, can help you navigate these kinds of things, contact me. It's not theory. It's not pontification. It's not what I think you should do. It's not what you need to do. Is if you recognize yourself that there are some things that I could probably need to think on. Guess what? We can help you do that. We likely can. Okay, Dawn. My ex-boyfriend, great relationship. I've forgiven since father, trying to keep the communication open. You just never know how God will use it bless you. Yeah. I mean, listen, hurt doesn't mean that relationships, the people who did so, they're bad people. They really are. We don't know. That's why it's important to do the forgiveness. To not do the forgiveness, but to forgive, because forgiveness leads to a life of peace. And when you're peaceful, the people who hurt you, it's not that you let them back in to do it again, but you can deal with them because you're unbothered. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, Dawn. Thank you, LaFern. Thank you. I mean, and that's really what we want to do. Make healthy choices for ourselves. Because again, it's attractive. Listen, what did Jay-Z say? Game recognizes game, and you're looking real familiar. Well, guess what? That only applies if you're whole looking at another whole person, right? But if you're broken, you probably won't see another broken person because you're both broken. But if you're whole, you can totally see. You can totally see broken. Yes, Bernadette, it will. It will be alive. So it's going to be in the group as soon as we're done. Absolutely. Yeah, it'll be available for replay for those persons who were not able to be here live. But yeah, for sure. Please share it out. Yeah. Yes, LaFern, in spades. We attract what we reflect. You know, I say it like we attract what we are, right? So in order to attract what you want, you first yourself have to become it. And if you're not yet it, that means there's some work to be done. There's a gap. So all I'm saying is consider closing that gap for you so that you can attract that ideal mate or that person that at least you can start with saying, man, they are willing to work on themselves or are working on themselves just like I've worked on myself, because you can have those conversations. Because guess what? When you've done these things, when you've done this work, your conversations with others are different. Yeah, they really are. And you're not afraid to ask questions because you're like, hey, I had some life. Life happened to me, and this was my experience. And that person, and you don't mind asking that person to share theirs. It's like, man, because there may be some common themes and threads in that sharing. But when you're hurt, you're guarded, and you're less likely to share because we may fear judgment. We may fear condemnation. We may fear ridicule. But when you're healed and whole, none of that matters because you're operating from a place of peace, and that's what you're sharing from. Not a place of guarded and like, yeah, I don't know you yet. I don't know if I can trust you. I'm not saying go pour your heart out. Come on now. Hope you understand what I'm saying to you. I'm saying people who warrant that level of exchange, you know, if you feel comfortable sharing, share is what I mean. But again, you'll know that. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, healing can be a journey, because it's not just because you recognize blind spots and you work towards closing those gaps. It doesn't mean that you're done, because as you continue to grow and evolve as a person, guess what? You're continually learning. And you may learn some things about yourself that you thought were good, but hey, I can be better there too. That's what's so cool about this whole journey. That's why I said I'm inviting you on a journey with me. Because it's not about a destination. It is a journey. And how cool would it be to be on your journey with another whole person? Alone is cool, but being prepared to share that with another whole person, I'm just saying that's not a bad day. That ain't a bad deal, because you're like, hey, I'm ready. See, listen, when does success happen? When opportunity and preparedness meet. What's the part of that equation can you control? The preparedness. Yeah, that's the part. So, but anyway, let's see, what do you say, Don? Transparency, so free news for USA. Okay, USA. Absolutely. Any questions, any thoughts, comments before we get out of here? Who has a beverage that they're enjoying? You know, the thing I have to remember is that it takes time to type, right? I mean, some of you guys got like lightning fast fingers. Me, not so much. So, if there are thoughts, share. If not, that's cool. Oh, Carol has tea. Nice. Green tea, right? Miss Healthy. LaFern, I love it. It looks like red wine. Nice. And it's a great evening for it. I mean, here in Maryland, it's raining, so perfect to be indoors with the beverage of your choice. Nice, Carol. Nice. Dawn has water. Good. See, it varies. So that's the cool thing about the lounge. Whatever beverage you need in your life, hey, have at it. Have at it. I just wanted to, actually I need to finish this bottle that I'm drinking. This is a Apothic. You may be familiar with it, but I'm a red guy. Malbec in particular, that's my drug of choice when it comes to red wine. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Cabs can be too bold, but you know. Gina got some Tito's. Hey, Gina, what's happening? Good to see you, and welcome to the lounge. Lita, looks like you have a cocktail of some kind. Wow. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. And I definitely appreciate you hanging out with me again this week. Yeah, this is cool. This is cool. And I definitely hope, obviously, it's helpful. But listen, we're going to go ahead and get out. Oh, 1 second. Carol says she's familiar. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That Apothic that's that stuff. I mean, it's a good blend. It's a real cool blend. Jose Cuervo Strawberry Margarita. Wow. You guys are doing it. I like it. I like it. I like it. This is going to be so cool when we can do this live someday, like in person, like, you know, like when we can gather again. That won't be anytime soon, I think. But when we can, it's going to be off the chain. I still look forward, and I hope you guys can come hang out in person when we can do that. So, yeah. That's all I have. You have any questions for me, any thoughts, please share in the video. I'll be sure to respond to the comments. If you are someone or know someone who could benefit from this, please share the video. If there's someone that you know who could benefit from coaching support, please have them contact me via the scheduling link, bit.ly Coach Reg session, to make their appointment, and we will take it from there. But yeah, that's what this is. I want us to be better. That's why men and women in this space is my heart's desire, because we need to have, and I want us to have, productive, constructive, and healthy exchanges to tear down some of these barriers that we have that keep us divided, right? Because we can navigate these perceptions much better than we have in the past. And this space is intended to do that, right? So encourage your male friends, the men you know, to hang out, to come check it out, because there's value here. And I think that a lot of people are appreciative of it. I know I am. And so, yeah. So anyway, listen, you all have a fantastic weekend and week coming, and we will totally do this again next week. Hey, listen, I'm Coach Reg, and I love. I will see you soon. Take good care. Bye.